The moment I clicked open the photo on her desktop by mistake, I froze. It was my boss, smiling softly, hair in the wind, eyes warmer than I had ever seen in real life. And then her voice came from behind me, slow, dangerous, and trembling just a little. "Do you think I'm pretty?" That question, it didn't just trap me. It cracked something open. Because I knew answering it wrong could destroy everything, but answering it honestly could change my whole life. I didn't know then that this moment would tie us together in ways neither of us expected, revealing secrets, fears, and a truth she had hidden for years. I was just the IT guy. The one who fixed problems and stayed invisible. But that day? That day I became someone else entirely. I started working at Stormtech Solutions because I needed the money after my father's illness drained everything I had saved. I never imagined that my boss, Ms. Amina Saeed, strict, elegant, untouchable, would ever even notice me. She was the kind of CEO who walked past people like a moving storm, cold, composed, and impossible to predict. Employees feared her, admired her, misunderstood her. But the more I observed her, the more I realized she wasn't unkind. She was hiding something deeper, something fragile. The call came through around 7 p.m., when most employees had already left. "My system isn't responding," she said in her usual firm tone. "Come to my office." I rushed upstairs, nervous as always, and entered the spacious office that smelled faintly of jasmine and coffee. She stood by the window, arms crossed, shoulders tense, as if carrying more weight than she showed. I asked her to explain the issue, and she simply said, "Just fix it." I nodded and sat down. The computer had frozen while she was organizing her personal files. I tried a manual restart, and the system booted back up. But as I clicked through to check if everything was functioning, an image opened, and there she was, younger, smiling, genuinely smiling, something I had never seen her do in person. I didn't even realize she was behind me until she spoke. "Do you think I'm pretty?" Her voice wasn't harsh or mocking. It was fragile, almost afraid. I didn't know how to answer without crossing some line or losing my job. The room felt too quiet, too intimate. I swallowed hard. "Yes," I said finally, because lying felt impossible in that moment. "But it's not just the picture. I think I stopped. Her expression changed, like she was hearing something she hadn't heard in years. She walked closer, studying my face as if trying to confirm something. Then she simply whispered, "Thank you," and stepped away. That night changed everything. After that, she called me for minor issues, things she could have solved herself. Sometimes the meetings lasted longer than necessary. Sometimes she asked questions that had nothing to do with computers. "Do you like this office? Do you ever think people judge others too quickly? Do you think someone can start over?" At first, I answered awkwardly. But then I realized she wasn't looking for solutions. She was looking for someone who actually listened. A rumor spread quickly: the IT guy is getting special attention. Some began avoiding me, others glared at me as though I didn't deserve to walk next to her office. My supervisor even warned me, "Be careful. She fires people for less." But she didn't fire me. In fact, she surprised me one evening by asking, "Would you walk with me to the parking lot?" It was raining lightly, and she held her umbrella low. Our shoulders touched. She didn't move away. The car, she turned to me and said something I didn't expect. "People think I'm strong. But I'm not. I've lost too much. And I don't trust easily." She paused, then added quietly, "But I'm starting to trust you." That confession tightened something inside my chest. I didn't know what she wanted from me, but I knew what I felt wasn't just admiration anymore. Days turned into weeks. Her walls lowered, bit by bit. I became part of her world, not as an employee but as someone she talked to when the office lights were dim and the world felt too heavy. And then, everything shattered one morning when the board members staged an attack on her character. Someone had leaked her personal pictures to embarrass her. Someone had hacked her emails. The staff whispered. Some laughed. Others judged. She shut her office door and didn't come out for hours. She didn't need to say a word. I went straight to work, tracking the breach. It was someone in-house, someone who wanted her thrown out. When I finally discovered the culprit, a senior manager jealous of her position, I knew exposing him wouldn't be easy. But I gathered every file, every log, and every digital footprint. When she stood in front of the board to defend herself, I stepped forward and presented the evidence. She looked at me like she was seeing sunlight after months of rain. After the meeting, she called me into her office, tears in her eyes for the first time. "Why did you do this for me?" she whispered. "I didn't think. I just said the truth. Because you deserved someone on your side. And because I care." She stared at me for a long moment, trembling. Then she stepped closer, her voice barely audible. No one has cared in a long time. From that day, everything changed again, but this time, it felt right. The night she finally told me the story behind that photo, the reason she kept it hidden, I realized how deeply she had been hurt by someone she once trusted. I didn't try to fix her pain. I didn't promise to make everything perfect. I simply listened, stood beside her, and let her know she wasn't alone anymore. That was enough to begin healing. She smiled again, not like the picture, but something softer, real, present. Our story wasn't dramatic or rushed. It was slow, fragile, and honest. Two people who were never meant to cross paths found something they both needed, a chance to feel seen, not be. Why the time she asked me again one evening, "Do you still think I'm pretty?" I didn't hesitate. "You're beautiful," I told her. "Not because of the picture, but because of who you are when the world isn't watching." And for the first time, she didn't look away. She held my gaze and whispered, "Then stay. Please." And I did, because sometimes the person who seems the strongest is the one hoping someone will finally look past the surface. And sometimes the one who feels invisible ends up being the one who changes everything. In the end, it wasn't about a photo. It wasn't about a question. It was about two hearts learning that trust can grow in the most unexpected places, and love can begin with a single, honest answer.